Hello and welcome to Mad Al Goes Racing, and today we're just having a quick look at the latest bits and pieces that have been added to Raceroom Race Experience. And that's there have been some physics changes, some FFB changes, various sound changes and other things, and they've added 5 cars and 1 track. Yes, I think it's 5. Right, so the cars are quickly a BMW M4 GT4 car. The other GT4 is the Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 Club Sport. Then we have a Group 4 BMW M1, which is basically the same more or less as the Pro car. Then we have the GT2 RS Club Sport. And last but by no means least, there is the, go to the end, 911 GT3R from 2019. And we're going to start with a quick look at the M4 BMW. And this is the new circuit. This is the Ningbo International Speed Park. And I probably didn't want to click twice because I can't find the damn thing. 5 layouts. We're going with the full one, which is, as you can see, it's got lots of little chicanes, lots of interesting hairpins. If you like hairpins, if you don't like hairpins, they will be the most uninteresting things in the world. But here we go. I've got 9 AI at 100 difficulty. How quick or slow or good or bad they are, I don't know, but whistle whilst we load, and off we go. And off we go. And off we go. You will notice that it does say if you've got current setups for any of your cars, to reset them if they've been changed. Well, I don't think I've actually got a single non-default setup in here. And B, the controller profile, I don't think there is one for my controller, so I couldn't reset it because, so I've tinkered. I've changed. I was looking at Greg Orta video the other day going, don't put the steering rack forces above 50. Well, I've turned it out to 30. So right, I'm also using a slightly different HUD to the one I used to, so probably haven't got a clue what's going on. Hopefully I've moved everything so you can see past my ugly mug. Right. Yes, I'll probably be using lots of understeer. Get a bit of heat in the tyres. As you can see, the circuit is quite that's a bit like the old was it turn 6 at Turkey? Rather tight hairpin, don't run over the side or else you'll invalidate your lap time, annoyingly. A lot of sort of these 90-degree type corners and these sort of nasty little chicanes which make it bloody near impossible to overtake anybody. But I have actually only tried the one layout so far, so I don't know what the rest are like, but I keep wanting to change down and it won't let me change. I can't remember if this is a recent change, but they've changed the setup screen. That's part of it, but the there's now like traction control is available in 6 levels, and I can't remember if that was there before or not. But the default is actually 100% on cars that have it, which is sounds terrible, but in fact I don't know if they've made some major changes or not to the FFB traction control, but it does seem it doesn't get in the way. It's very much a case of works with you rather than against you, so it's one of these long hanging corners that probably cause you inordinate amounts of understeer. But you've got 6 levels of traction control, with 1 being maximum and 6 being off. You'd have thought 6 would be the maximum and 1 or 0 would be off, but there you go. Run out of track. Oh no, not quite. As you can hear, the car sounds quite good. Lots of tyre squirrel because I probably found turn it up slightly further than some people would like it, but I do find the tyres do tell me quite a lot about what's going on, and maybe if your equipment was a bit better than my old stuff, you might get better force feedback. And not have to worry quite so much about the tyre sound. Did I manage that? Just about. In terms of the car itself, it's nicely balanced. It goes where you point it. Seems to be telling me what... Ooh, bit of understeered it. Telling me what I want to know. Lost a heap of time through there. And it is typical BMW, beautifully balanced. So, if anything, could do with a little less understeer. I presume the default is a little bit safe, but I think one of the changes they've made to the physics is actually it makes the cars a little less slidey anyway, so get out of my way, get out of my way. Chance to go on the outside, 0. Can I persuade the AI to move? Yep, just about. There you go, I'll persuade them off the side of the circuit. Sometimes the AI don't know when to give up. And the point to give up is when you're on the grass. But even on this, the feedback from this is perfectly acceptable. It tells you when I'm going to get a load of understeer, and I'll just get off the track and get out of the way. So, yep, lovely balanced car. Absolutely a great addition to the GT4 class, which has now got 2 extra cars, which has fleshed it out a bit. So, I think that one you can say is a winner, and if I press the right button we can get out of this and go to the next one. That's definitely a nice addition. Again, next we'll go with the other GT4 car, which like I said is the 718 Cayman. As you can see, I only bother to buy it in one colour because it gets expensive buying all this and I have to pay for it. And frankly, one skin is more than enough. I've only got one, come on. Yeah. Now, I'm not sure if the 718 Cayman has that much difference to the just Cayman, but I'm not a Porsche fanatic, so it's another car really. Right. Sounds like one of those Porsche type engines behind us. Oh. For some reason I can't seem to work out how to get the web HUD track map to work. I thought there was one with this particular version, whatever I'm using, which is the Otter or whatever. I'm expecting to push like hell because it's why it's weighted, so feel a little bit pushy with a little bit. Again, I assume it's on traction control 1. Turn out to 3 and 7 makes the back end move around a bit. Again, nice weight on the FFB. It's a bit too much back end weight there. I don't think it's quite as well balanced as the BMW. We'll say may have been affected a bit more by the curbs on that one. Might just be requires a slightly different type of finesse to get it around the corners. You can feel the back end trying to rotate around a bit there. Right, one of those KTM crossbows behind us. Okay, nice sound. It's telling us what we want to know. Definitely feels a little bit more squirrely at the back end. So you're presumably having a bit more weight at the back. But that should give us better grip out of the corners. I could have sworn that AI was diving up the inside of us, so he did in the end. For some reason I can't get the virtual mirror to work with this HUD. Which is a pain because I'd like a bit more showing what's behind me, but we do have the helicorsa up there somewhere. And the other HUD I was trying actually had a little thing that pinged, make pinging noises like sonar when you put something next to you, which was actually quite annoying. Luckily you could have turned it off, but again the back end tries to get away. I believe somebody said they had made some improvements in the braking area. Well, quite what those improvements were, I don't know. I could go and read the changelog. I'll see if I can remember to that really does want to get away from you there. Try one more flying lap because that was absolutely terrible. It's definitely not as immediately easy to drive, I don't think, as the BMW was. Whether that's just me being inept or the fact that I prefer my cars with a little bit more balance, or whether I was just driving like an idiot, I don't know. We'll find out in a minute. Trying to persuade the back end to rotate here. Come on, rotate, rotate. Thank you. I'm sure the GT4 cars have just got much slower gear changes on them as well than the GT3 cars. I don't know if it's me just being a nutter or... It really doesn't like the transition through there because it goes from strange camber straight, and there as well there's a bit of a dip in the road and you can end up getting caught in it. In terms of the track, it's one of those, it's quite a tight and twisty layout, but actually, despite being tight and twisty, it does seem to have quite a nice flow to it, which sometimes doesn't work. And again, the last couple of corners are a right pain in the bum. I could do sort of a middling gear between second and third there. That's better. So, compared to the BMW, not quite as well balanced, but if you like a car that rotates more, then you might prefer this. In terms of speed, I don't think there's a lot to choose between them. So, we'll get on to the next one. Again, I keep thinking, is that going to quit or quit? No, it's just going to here. In terms of the GT4 cars, hopefully they're all quite nicely balanced in terms of performance. We'll try the GT2 RS next. Again, only will I get one of those, so I'm not sure whether this is more a sort of road car, because it's not in the GT2. It's not in the GT2 class, so presumably it's not a true GT2 car. So whether this is like one of those sort of one-off series, presumably, a bit like the M1 Pro Car series and some of the other sort of Porsche Carrera Cup type things. So, without going and having a look and seeing what the performance delta of this thing is supposed to be, I think it's actually slower than a GT3 car. Whether it's on some slightly worse tyres, I don't know. Press the any key. I don't see an any key. Again, factory ABS, etc. Sounds like a Porsche to me. Lots of force feedback. I probably should have put the feedback meter up. I think I should check to see what tyres this is running, because it doesn't feel like it's on slicks. Does sound very nice. I suspect this is one of these fast in the straight, not so fast around the corners of shops. Feels like it's got a little bit of weight on the back end trying to throw itself about. No surprise, it's a Porsche. The engine's out somewhere about 3 miles behind us. again, same thing with the presets. We'll turn it down a bit more. Turn it up, turn it down. Put it on a lower setting. ABS working overtime there. Just in case you haven't noticed, there's an ABS light next to where the tyres are. Brake a little bit earlier for that because it feels like it's definitely going a bit quicker in a straight line, but nowhere near as quick around the corners. ABS working overtime again as I try to rest the car. Come on, grip. Oh yeah, one of the things they did add, as I'm listening to the sound of the tyres trying to lock up under the brakes, they added flat spots, which you should be able to feel through your FFB once you've got some. Of course, once you've flat spot on a tyre, you will of course every time you try and brake end up on exactly the same spot, and that's how flat spots get worse. So taking a bit too much curb there. Running a bit wide there. Oh, tricky little finish. One more lap, see if we can go a little bit quicker. A little bit iffy in a few places there. Force feedback's telling me what I need to know. Definitely a waiting game getting on the throttle. Confused about how far in the corner was it? You can try brake nice and deep in the corners with it, but that's probably just down to the fact it's got ABS. Loads of understeer if you push too hard. Certainly get power on easily from the apex due to the way the weight's working, so not a brilliant time, but there or thereabouts. Again, nice FFB, if I can say that. Good sound, telling me what I need to know. I was going to have a look in the garage and see what tyres it says are on it. This is the new what's the word I'm looking for? Setup screen. God, brain like a sieve. It's all, I presume it's web based, so lots of things to tell you up the side here. What you want to know for each thing, so everything you go on, it's got some help. So it just says tyre compound hard. Doesn't give you anything other than it's a hard tyre. Is it a hard slick? Hard? Who knows? It might be a track type tyre. I don't know. And I'm guessing I can't change it either, as I got no left right options. So yeah, hard tyres. All the usual things to change. Roll bars, electronics. This is where you can change your traction control, so you could have have your 6 settings as sort of 0 to say 60 instead of 0 to 100. So you can change them however you like. Like I said, they're not intrusive. They seem to work really well. You don't get. I haven't actually heard any change in engine note, which is what you'd normally expect if you're all over the traction control. You'd be able to hear it spluttering and coughing and doing all the rest of it. So nice new looking thing. Live tyre info, so you can tell where your tyres are in terms of temperatures. So you should be able to adjust your camber to get whatever spread you need. So that's the, which one was that? GT2. Yeah. And we'll have a look at the, go to the end. GT3 again. I only pay for the one because they get expensive. I'm just trying to remember how much the cars were. Like £3 each or something, which is, once you add the 10, 15, 20 skins at 25 pence each, they do get a bit expensive, but I think for the 5 cars in the track was it 18 quid? I'll have to turn my other computer on and look, and I'm not going to bother. I might just try and remember to put a thing on to say I paid this for it. I think it's getting quite nagging about your controller profiles and your new physics and your using the same load screen every time. Press the button. Mind control. I don't know why it says press a button and it does it anyway. Right. Again, normal factory ABS, factory everything else. First thing I notice is this sounds very quiet. Nice. Get a little bit of turn from the car. Patience, 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 patience. Brake early, try not to ram it up the butt. Is it going to be annoying or not? No, it's dropped in behind me. Go for that. Again, getting a bit squirrely there. I see one on the I was going to say lowest. I assume I'm in the highest traction control setting. I was indeed. It does feel like it's quite capable of getting away from me. Better balance than the GT2 car. Actually feels very well balanced. Got the engine screaming. how the AI managed to spin one of the cars. A little bit of a feather to keep the front end down. Again, feedback telling me when I'm getting on the limit of the front tyre traction. A couple of times telling me the back end's wanting to slide about a bit. It's definitely a little bit of a roller coaster through that section of the track, and we'll try and get the front end to grip a bit better there. That's much better. Now, I'm not a GT3 is the best thing since sliced bread person, but I have to say this car is very, very nice to drive. Oh yeah. AI getting decidedly squirrely in front of me there. Try it. See if we can get the back end to move around a bit more with it. Now, that's embarrassing, isn't it? Right around the outside. Park in the middle of the corner, why don't you? Yeah, I feel the back end moving a bit more now, a little less on the disallowed the time for the simple fact I had to take so much curve because I thought I was going to ram the back of the AI. And again. Right, again, nice FFB, sounds, I could do a little bit more volume on it, maybe. FFB wise feels nice, tells you what it's doing all the time, feels like it's actually really well balanced, not too much like it's got a lot over the back end. I think as Porsche's more recent cars, they actually got closer to a 50-50 balance now, so they're not anywhere near as like feels like they got an anchor hanging out the back, so that is really quite nice. And that was the fourth of those, and the last car is going to be the one that I went with a beer one, Warsteiner, which I first sampled when I went to Germany 38 years ago or whenever it was. My brother-in-law was stationed in Gütersloh, and he said, "Come down to Naffy, we'll have a few pints." And we ended up drinking Warsteiner, and I ended up absolutely shit-faced. Shock horror. Yes, I was a youth once, you know. Any key. There we go. Now, I can't remember if I mentioned it. Excuse me, also I just coughed my guts up. Don't know if I mentioned it when I was doing a bit of a review of Raceroom, but I actually found the M1 Pro car a bit of a disappointment because it just didn't do anything for me other than the sound, which is absolutely bloody awesome. And I say that and go, for some reason this sounds different, and they've redone the sound on this, and I don't think this is nice. But I'm sure they had their reasons. It still sounds like a... Oh! Did I say they redone the brakes? I think I managed to not damage anything. None of the damage indicators are showing anything, so I assume my car is still straight. Yeah, I prefer the sound of the Pro car because I had a go in that earlier and that hadn't changed, but I just want to see if it actually updated the physics in the Pro car, and it felt much the same as it did before. So, although I have tried turning down there, and this is much the same, I'm afraid. I'll let that car go, get out of the way. They are a beautiful looking car, I have to say. Always like the look of the M1. Actually looks better as a race car than it does as a road car, with the road car hasn't got the wing or anything, so. Now, still got naffle feel for the front end. Certainly on the kit I've got. Just doesn't seem to have any point where you really feel like it's got any bite to it. I've sort of gone over the edge of grip there, just about. But I'm just trying to remember what setting I got for the slip. Not slip. Understeer fall off. It's 55. Oh my god, the brakes are terrible. Trouble going from a modern car to not so modern car. Maybe I should have done this one first. Actually, that sounds better from the outside than it does from in here. If that's the one I think I can hear. Maybe I should have gone with just the Group 4 BMWs in here instead of a mixture. Now there, after I changed up, it actually sounded like it's got a clutch slip, which is bizarre. But yeah, I just, I'm sort of there. It's woolly. Oh, you can actually hear the brakes locking up. Oh, the tyres when you lock the brakes. But as far as where's the tyres, I'll just about hear it there. So quiet. I said to put in. It's just not really telling me anything. Which is a shame because I absolutely love this car. Whether it's just something within the steering geometry makes it so it doesn't work well, whether it's something that can be sorted with a bit of a change here or there in the setup, maybe add a bit more caster. So you got a more trail. If you know what trail is, trail is usually used in deciding a sort of steering part of the steering geometry in a bike rather than necessarily in a car. But basically, it's the difference between where your tyre is actually touching the ground and the line of the axis of where it's turning. And the longer the distance, the more trail you've got. I think I spoilt myself by driving the other 4 much nicer cars first. Maybe if I jumped in this first, I'd have been much more inclined to say it's an improvement on the M1 Pro car, but I'm not particularly. It's just, I'm afraid, not got enough feedback to tell me what the hell's happening really well. Probably doesn't help the tyre, seeing it take forever and a day to warm up. But also, like I said, I'm sure they have changed the sound. I assume it's still meant to have the same straight 6. That was the only engine it was ever meant to have. But it was meant to be turbocharged as a Group 5 car. But that never got done as far as I'm aware. And then it rotates for no particularly good reason without really telling you a lot. Hell am I 5 seconds? 5 seconds off the pace here. It tells you everything you need to know about how much it's not telling me what's going on. Now I've got an itchy nose. And that's it. It just... No. Honest opinion, not impressed. Maybe with some setup changes to try and get a little bit more feel for what the front end of the car's doing, because I just get to the point where I just feed in so much and I'm just understeering, or at least I think I'm understeering. I'm really not being told anything. Trouble is, I don't want to start messing about with the FFB just for one car and then find out it's completely buggered everything else up. So I'll give you 4 out of 5, and the track's nice, so that's really 5 out of 6. Which is, it's not a bad batting average really, so. So that's that. That's the changes. More about the content, but there's plenty of changes. Like I said, I will try and remember to put a link to the change log in the description, and next time we'll be back with a bit of Project Cars 2 with our career, I suspect. I'd have done it this morning, but I was playing online on a game of Muscle Stream, so blame him. Right, until next time, have fun, enjoy your racing, and goodbye.